Fix your tie.
Hello, chess fans. Welcome to another episode of Chess Chat, a program brought to you live from the Rollstone Bank and Trust Studios at Fitchburg Access Television. I am George Marajanian, Program Director of the Wachusett Chess Club at Fitchburg State University. This club, the second oldest chess club in Massachusetts, meets every Wednesday evening from 6:30 to 10:30 in rooms 163 and 165 of the McKay Campus Complex at the university. And with me for this 198th episode of Chess Chat is our award-winning director, Darren Dame of Fitchburg, recipient of FATV's very prestigious Boulder Award in 2009. And assisting him in the control room and on the set, working a camera, is our longtime Wachusett Chess Club member and fellow Fitchburg resident, Brian Bigelow. And sitting across from me is my longtime associate, trusty colleague, Wachusett Chess Club photographer, chess photographer, an author, a very active tournament player, the club's statistician, my co-host, Dave Kuchar of Westminster. Hello, Dave.
Hello, George. Good to see you.
Always good to see you, Dave. Well, Dave, 4 days ago, chess history was made in Singapore.
Yep.
Because that's where we had a new world champion crowned. 4 days ago, 18-year-old Grandmaster Gukesh Dommaraju of India became the 18th undisputed world champion by defeating the reigning world champion, 32-year-old Grandmaster Ding Liren of China. So that was an event that was watched by millions of people around the world, and we are going to be able to report on this. It was just, again, the closing ceremony was just 3 days ago, and we're going to be able to talk about this world championship. So what should we...
One of the key things is that he's the youngest ever.
He is the youngest.
By far.
Yeah, now, we've had younger world champions in the past, but they were older than 18. For example, Garry Kasparov was what, 22?
22. He was
22.
So
right.
he was the youngest.
Now, do you know how old when Bobby Fischer won it? You know how old Bobby Fischer was when he won it? 29. 29. Okay. But Gukesh actually made chess history by being the youngest world champion. And again, and this match, this world championship match, was played in Singapore, and it was a scheduled 14-game match. And it did go to 14 games.
It did go to 14.
Okay. Now, what should we tell our viewers about this match? What can we tell? We're going to present one of the games.
Sure.
But you have selected, you thought actually one of the wins. By the way, how many actually, who's the opponent? I told you, he defeated the reigning world champion, Ding Liren, who won the world championship last year. So he only was a champion since 2023. But he was not considered the favorite in this match. Gukesh was the heavy favorite because what is Gukesh Dommaraju's world ranking among all the chess players in the world? Where does he rank in the world? Is he number one as far as number one ranking?
No. The number one player, Magnus Carlsen.
Magnus Carlsen of Norway.
A few years ago, decided not to defend the title any longer.
All right. So the previous world champion chose not to compete in world championship matches, and he's decided to just retire from world championship play, but not from active tournament play.
Correct.
Okay. So, all right. So
to answer your question, Gukesh is number 5 in the world.
Gukesh is number 5, his ranking-wise. Okay. And, of course, you said Magnus Carlsen of Norway, the champion for 10 years. He won it in 2013 and actually retired, basically, from world championship play in 2023. He's number 1. Who is number 2 and 3 in the world? Do we have
Caruana and Nakamura are
Fabiano Caruana, 2 Americans.
Very close,
2 American players are number 2 and 3. Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana, and number 3 is Hikaru Nakamura.
Very close, and very close behind them is another Indian.
Another Indian Grandmaster, Arjun Ergaisi. Is number 4. And all these 4 players we mentioned here, Magnus Carlsen, Caruana, Nakamura, and DEC, all their ratings are above 2,800.
Yep.
Okay. So that's when you get into 2,800, you're in super grandmaster territory here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So what else can we say about this match?
Well, like you said, Gukesh was the favorite.
Yes.
And almost universally, before the match, people thought it's not even going to go to 14 games. They thought Gukesh is probably going to win by at least 2 or 3 games. They won't even have to play the final games. So,
right. So he was the favorite. Gukesh was the favorite.
He was the heavy favorite.
So what happened in Game 1, the Game 1 of the match? What happened in Game 1?
That was amazing because Gukesh had white and he lost.
And he lost. And Gukesh, the favorite, lost
the first
with
game.
white the first game.
Yep.
Okay. And the second game was a draw. They drew.
Yeah.
So now, Gukesh now has white again in round 3. So what happened in Game 3 though?
In Game 3, he won to tie the match.
He tied. So actually, he tied the match.
Yeah.
After losing to Ding in the first game, he tied the match with a win in Game 3.
Yeah.
So what happened after that? After games
The next
4?
The next 7 were draws.
Yes, right.
But I'd say at least 6 of the 7 were exciting draws.
Exciting draws?
Where one or both players had chances, but couldn't, turn it into a win.
Right.
So they were very interesting games.
Right. And by the way, their schedule, they were playing like 3 games. After every 3 games, they were taking a rest day.
A day off, right.
It was a rest day. Okay.
So they played 3 days in a row and then a day off, 3 days in a row, day off. Yeah.
Okay. So this again went the whole 14 games.
Right.
Going into the last game, the 14th game, it was tied.
It was tied.
6.5 points each.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what if that last game would have been drawn? What if if that game were drawn, it would have ended 7-7? What happened? What would have happened next?
Then they had playoffs scheduled for the next day, which was, again, I forget the details, but I think it was like 4 rapid games.
So these are fast time control.
Yeah, so they each have like 15 minutes apiece, roughly.
Okay.
So they play 4 of those, and if it was still tied, I think maybe there was another pair of rapid games, and if those were tied, I think they start playing blitz games.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But that was avoided.
But yes, it was avoided.
Have we had world championships that have been decided by playoff games, by faster games?
Yeah, yeah.
What they played, this match was what they call classical chess.
Right.
It's slow chess, but it's called classical chess.
Right.
Yeah. And I myself prefer seeing classical chess.
Yeah.
And I would not like to see a world championship title decided by a rapid playoff or a blitz playoff.
Most people agree with you.
No, I think most players agree we should see classical chess decided by classical chess, and not have a rapid play. Okay. All right. Now, Darren actually has some photos of Gukesh.
Yep.
I think first photo he's going to show is with his parents. Or no, actually here is actually he's victoriously. This is after the last game of the match.
Very last game, yeah.
He's expressing his jubilation at winning the world championship.
He's actually he's in an enclosed room with one-way. What do you say? Is one-way mirrors, two-way mirrors?
All right.
He can't see the crowd, but the crowd can see him.
So there's a crowd up there, but he cannot see them.
He can't see. He could hear them.
He could hear them, but not see them.
He could hear them. Yeah.
Okay. So that's one photo of Gukesh. Now here is actually with his parents.
Yep.
His mother there, I see in the middle. I believe his mother was like a microbiologist.
I don't know.
She's as a professional person. Has her profession is being microbiology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I forget what his father does, but there they are with him, congratulating him. They must be very proud of their son.
Yes.
Yeah, very son of their son.
I did read that the mother never watched any of the games.
Really?
Because she felt like she couldn't control it, so why stress about it?
Right.
She'd find out when it was done.
Okay.
So she didn't.
So she never
watched any of the games live. She waited to hear the news afterwards.
Okay. All right. Now,
I think we have a little clip next.
Yes, we have a clip actually of Gukesh. Actually, he was interviewed actually when he was like 11 or 12.
I think he was 11. He had just won like the World Youth Championship or something.
Let's see this very short clip of video of an interview with Gukesh at a young age.
What do you want to do when you grow up?
I want to become the youngest world chess champion.
So there it is.
Yeah.
He fulfilled his goal of becoming the youngest ever world chess champion.
That was his wish.
Yep.
His wish was he would become the youngest world champion,
Yep.
and he fulfilled his wish.
He fulfilled his wish, yeah.
So that's great. Okay, now what do we have here? Another photo of Gukesh.
This is at the ceremony.
At the ceremony. Again, the closing ceremony is actually on Friday, I believe. That's when they held the.
I think so, yeah.
The final.
Yeah.
Yeah. The final game was played actually on Thursday of last week, and Friday, I believe, they held the ceremony. Now, the game you selected, Dave, and you made a very good selection. You decided to take Game 11 from the match, and again. Gukesh's opponent was the reigning world champion Ding Lijian, and that's, by the way, there is Ding.
Yeah.
There is Ding Lijian, who actually again was only champion for 1 year, but he is actually one of the top players. Even though his world ranking puts him now, he's moved up. He was he was now 22nd at one time.
He was I think when the match started, he was like number 22 or
he was ranked 22 in the world. But but losing the match, actually, he did actually
gained a little bit.
He gained some points to increase his ranking in the world to 17. I would say you say it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the game, we're not going to present to our viewers who had white in the game that we're going to see.
So
Is it Gukesh had white?
Gukesh, the challenger, had white.
Okay. So how did Gukesh open the game against Ding in Game 11?
He plays knight f3, which is not seen that often. I'd say about 10% of the time, but it's a very good move.
In fact, you know,
it stops Black from playing e5.
Right. Yes.
It develops a piece.
You know, I forget if we ever have actually in all the years we've been doing chess chat, whether we.
That's a good
I'm
question.
sure we have,
Yeah.
but I have no recollection.
No memory. Yeah.
Now this has a name though, right? Well, briefly, what is the name of this opening that you just played? The first move, knight f3. Does it have a name?
I guess once you play knight f3, they call it the ready.
Ready. It's named after a player named by the name of Richard Ready, who was actually born in Hungary, which became part of Czechoslovakia, which is now the Czech Republic. Yeah. So he actually, most of the players of the world know this as the Ready opening.
Yeah.
Reti.
Right.
Richard Ready.
But it often transposes into other openings.
Oh yes. This allows great transpositional possibilities.
Right.
Knight f3.
Yeah.
Okay. So because Gukesh played knight f3, Ding responded with d5. He's allowed to play his center pawn up to d5, which is a good response. He could have actually played knight f6. He could have mirrored.
A lot of players just mirror.
Yeah, they just played knight f6, but d5 is a very playable move. What did Gukesh do now on move 2?
And when he plays on move 2 is a very slightly surprising. It's a very unbalancing
Well,
move.
actually, now in some circles, this might be considered, some may call this a gambit. This is,
Yes, yeah.
See, the ready opening, by playing c4 in the second move, some players may even call this the ready gambit, because you're now offering that pawn right now.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, in response...
But I guess the main thing to say is it's very unbalancing.
Yes.
He could have simply played this, and it's just get a very balanced, even position. But this is going to really unbalancing. It kind of gives the message that I'm going to play for a complicated game. I'd like to win.
Okay.
I'm not going to be happy with a draw. I want to win this game.
All right. So Black has choices here. Black can actually take the pawn on c4, or what he did, he decided to push the pawn to d4. Did he not?
Yes, and that tends to lead to pretty complicated positions. He could have played e6.
Or even, yes, right. Now, he could have played e6, would have shut in this light square bishop, however, but e6 is a playable move.
And in the post-game press conference, he sort of indicated he wished he had played e6 here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He regretted not playing e6?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so how did Gukesh respond now to this move, d4?
This gets pretty wild. He plays b4. It's not something you normally see in most openings where the b pawn is pushed on the third move.
This is not the most popular response to. I mean, this is it's a playable continuation, but in the pecking order of popularity, it's not number one, is it?
Yeah, I think e3 might have been the.
Yes, I think e3 attacking the pawn on d4 immediately.
Yep.
So that's Gukesh's move b4, and what Ding did is respond with the pawn on c7 to c5. He moves up. Now, which is attacking the b pawn.
Yep.
But of course, the C pawn is protecting the D pawn on on D4. All right, it is now Gukesh's fourth move. What does he do now?
Again, this is a common move in this position,
Which
E3.
He could have played before he played
Yep,
D4.
sure, yeah.
Okay, so E3 is now attacking the pawn at D4. Well, Ding just continues with his development.
But we have to say,
Yes.
he took 40 minutes at this point.
On this next
move, his fourth move, he
so
took
wait a minute, you
40 minutes.
say that again? He spent how many minutes
40 minutes.
on making this
This
move?
move. So, and we should say that both players have to they get 2 hours for the first 40 moves.
Okay, they got 2 hours for 40 moves.
For 40 moves.
Okay, and he spent 40 minutes
taking
on
40
this
minutes at this stage of the game
This is the opening.
is scary.
It is rather scary to spend that much time
yeah,
on one
yeah.
single move like this.
It's amazing that you
Okay.
did.
So knight f6 is played by Ding.
Yep.
How does Gukesh respond to this move? It's his
So what he did, this was part of his preparation. This move had never been played in this position before.
So this is brand new.
This is a brand new move in this position.
This is a novelty.
Yep.
Okay.
And he had prepared this.
Oh wait, he actually admitted that he prepared.
His team.
team?
He actually mentioned that they had just come up with this like a day or two before.
Oh,
Like this
really?
wasn't something they had prepared months ago.
So this had never been played before anywhere.
in that position. Yeah, there
In
was
this
no databases that had that
Okay.
move
All
played in this position, and so
All right.
again.
Yeah.
But this is the point of part of the point of this is to make Ding
Yeah.
stop and think. You know, he's never seen this move before.
Yeah. Right.
And so we have to point out the next move.
Yes.
Ding took 20 minutes.
Oh, so the move coming up, he spent 20 minutes
20
on
minutes.
this next move.
Yes.
Which was Bishop G4, pinning the knight.
Pinning the knight. So
Okay.
now,
All right.
5 moves in, Ding has used up an hour. You only
Yep.
get 2 hours. He's already used up half his time.
He's already used up half his time.
And I think-
after 5 moves.
And Gukesh had used, I think, like 36 seconds at this point. He
Unbelievable.
just blitzed out his moves.
Unbelievable.
So,
Okay.
this
And by the
is-
way, Ding is ahead in development. He's got 2 pieces already developed here. Yeah, as far as development.
Yeah, his position is fine.
Yeah, nothing wrong with his position.
But having used up so much time is going to come back to bite him.
It's going to come with a cost.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So after Bishop G4, what did Gukesh do in response to Bishop G4?
So he takes a pawn on D4.
So he takes D4,
Yep.
to which Ding responds with C takes D4. This pawn, C takes D4, of course, is protected by the queen,
Yep.
and the knight is pinned anyways. All right, so it is now Gukesh's move. It's his 7th move. What does he do?
You know, very standard maneuver, H3, basically putting the question to the bishop. Either he has to take the knight or withdraw.
Or withdraw the bishop.
Yeah.
Okay. So what Ding chooses to do is not withdraw the bishop. He decides to take the knight on F3.
Yeah.
Bishop takes F3 was his move, his actually 7th move. Okay, and now it's Gukesh's move.
Gukesh, it's obvious you want to take with the queen, not the pawn.
Now, does he have a threat? Now, after this capture with the queen on F3, does White have a threat?
Sure, he's threatening to
Wow.
grab that pawn on
So
B7.
we have an attack on this undefended pawn
Yep.
on B7.
Yep.
So we can't. So Black certainly cannot allow that pawn to be taken by the queen.
Yep.
So what he does here in response to that is play his queen to C7. The queen protects the pawn on B7. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. It is now Gukesh's move. What does he do?
So this is a little bit of a turning point in the game. This
Yes.
is the first time Gukesh stopped to think.
Oh, really?
So he took 6 minutes now for this
on this
move.
next move.
On this next move, and even the commentators, I mean, the commentators have the computer.
Oh, yeah, they're
to look
working
at,
with a
but-
computer.
but-
They got the advantage of working with a computer.
Yeah, but it was seen as C5 being the move to make here to gain space on the queen side, open up the diagonal for the bishop.
So the commentators preferred, they
C5.
thought that was a better move.
Yeah.
Advancing the pawn to C5, yeah.
And in the post-game press conference, this was brought up, and Gukesh was surprised because he said he had looked at C5, but he saw something that he didn't like. I don't remember what it was, but he said he rejected it.
He rejected C5.
So after 6 minutes, he came up with D3.
Okay, so D3 was his move.
His move. Now, one problem is he's locking in that bishop.
The bishop is
Shutting
now
that in, yeah.
shutting in. Okay, here is what Ding did in response to D3. He plays the pawn to A5. Does he have a threat? Is there a black threat after playing A5?
Sure, he's threatening to take this pawn here, and then white can't take back.
All right. So he's threatening to win a pawn.
Threatening to win a pawn.
He's attacking the pawn on B4, and so how does Gukesh respond to this threat?
So Gukesh's next move was also criticized.
Oh, this was criticized
again,
too.
Commentators said, look, Ding had used up an hour.
Already an hour.
Already an hour. So they said Gukesh had all the time in the world. He should have stopped here to really analyze the position and think. But he said he only took 20 seconds.
20 seconds?
And they think it was part of the psychology where he's just trying to put the pressure on Ding. Like, you're already running low on time. I'm going to move fast.
Right.
Not give you any time to think. And so the feeling was that he should have captured.
Should have captured the pawn on A5.
He didn't. He pushed.
He pushed the B5.
And they said, the problem with this is now you're just creating this hole for a black knight to come into that square.
Okay. All right. So what Gukesh did in response to B5 was bring another piece into play here by playing the knight on B8 to D7. Knight BD7.
And it's going to go.
Oh yes.
And it's going to go there.
Now he's going to be able to anchor on C5 with the knight.
So already the commentators were thinking Ding is fine. Ding's position is.
There's no weakness here. No problem with Black's position here. All right, it is now Gukesh's 11th move. How does he? Remember, he's got a problem bishop there, the light squared bishop. So he realizes that.
Yeah,
of course, he sees it.
And this is another key moment.
Oh, yes.
Now Gukesh takes 60 minutes.
Wait a minute.
Half of his time, half of his remaining time.
Are you telling me this next move he takes a full hour?
He takes a full hour, yes.
About his next move?
Amazing.
Yeah. Wait a minute. He has to be in serious time trouble already. Yeah.
Well, after this move,
After this move.
So they sort of felt he should have taken the time before this move.
Yes, right.
And now he sort of realizes he's messed up.
He's messed up with his time management.
And Ding's position is fine.
Yes.
And now he spends an hour.
An hour on this move.
Mind-boggling to me. Because if I've spent 5 minutes on a move in one of my games, I'm thinking, I'm using up too much time.
But have you ever spent an hour?
Never. Not even close.
You've never spent an hour on one move.
Not even close.
Okay. But Gukesh did.
He does. He makes a good move, but now that I think I wrote it down. So now Gukesh had 50 minutes left.
50 minutes for the rest of his moves
to get to move 40. And Ding was actually a little bit ahead on time. He had 51 minutes. So after Gukesh was ahead like an hour on the clock, he's now slightly behind because he took 60 minutes on that move.
Okay. It is now Ding's move after G3. He plays the knight on D7 to C5. So knight goes to C5. That was his move. And, of course, Gukesh is going to carry out his plan. He played G3 for a reason.
Right. So he plays bishop G2.
And now we have the bishop actually fianchettoed on the long diagonal here. All right. So now what Ding does is actually this knight on F6 comes back to D7.
All right.
Because he's going to redeploy this knight on D7.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can say he wants to redeploy here.
There's a threat of going to attack the queen.
Attack the queen and attack
also
this pawn a second time.
And then he would have a double attack on the pawn on D3.
Yeah.
So, all right, there's now actually Gukesh's 13th move. What does he do?
So he castles.
He castles.
Can't go wrong by castling.
No. Yeah. But Ding carries out his plan of playing now knight E5.
Yeah.
It attacks the queen. The two knights now attack the pawn, which is only defended by the queen. But the queen is now under attack.
Right.
So the queen has to move.
So Gukesh said later he's already unhappy with his position. He said he wasn't happy with putting the queen here.
Right. Okay.
And at this point now, he had like 37 minutes to Ding's 44 minutes.
Okay. All right. So the knight is pinned. However, but the threat that White has here is this pawn is now undefended.
Now it's attacked.
So it's under attack. So there is a threat of actually taking that pawn, right?
Yep.
All right. So to which Ding responds, playing the rook on A8 over to D8, and protects the pawn on D4. Okay. Was there any criticism of that? I mean,
No.
there was no criticism by the commentators. They realized that pawn has to be defended.
Yep.
Okay. All right. It's now actually Gukesh's 15th move. What does he do?
Yeah, so he plays what, a move that I would have thought of. Right?
I think most players would do that. They say,
right,
wait a minute, I got a
wanted to
pawn
defend
under
his
attack.
pawn.
Yeah, okay.
But again, commentators thought he should have just given up the pawn at this point and just
And develop.
and developed.
Right.
So they thought this was not the best. So at this point, they
Yeah.
were actually thinking that Ding
Yeah.
had the better position.
Oh, okay. So they gave Ding the
Definitely
advantage.
the edge, and they
Slight, but a slight advantage.
Well,
or
they
maybe.
felt, and we can show that they felt like the next two moves he should have made was e6 and then put the bishop here.
Ah.
And they thought if he does that,
He's
he's got a big advantage.
Yeah.
I think Peter Lico, one of the commentators, thought it would be a winning advantage if he did that.
So that was the move. So in response to Rook D1, the comments said that he should have played E6 with the bishop playing the D6, but he didn't do that.
He didn't, and
he didn't play the pawn to E6.
He made a mistake himself.
What was the mistake? Now the mistake he made then is what he played in playing G6.
Right.
He plays the pawn to G6.
So he's going to bring his bishop out the other way.
Right.
And they felt like that he really had to bring it to here.
Right.
So.
Which would have given him a much better position.
Yeah.
But he chooses to play G6. All right, so now it's move 16 for Gukesh. What does he do?
A4, because he wants to bring his bishop here.
Aha, okay.
Frees up the square for the bishop.
It does allow the bishop to move over to A3. Okay, all right. Here is what Ding did. Played pawn to H5. Okay, so but he also is also allowing this bishop possibly to come to H6. Yeah,
right.
That's a possibility. All right, but it is Gukesh's move. What does he do? Okay.
So now
It's move 17.
Yeah, this is interesting. He plays B6.
Yes.
So he's attacking the queen, but he's putting on a square where.
This cannot be taken.
But it can't be. That's right. It can't be taken. It looks like it can be.
Because the queen is tied down to defending this
the
knight.
Yep.
It can't be deflected from the defense of this knight by taking here. That would be a big blunder to take
and then
here.
he would have just
could have
taken
cost
the
him a piece.
Yep.
All right. And of course, Ding realizes that. So he actually plays the move that he only has here, is queen. Although he could have brought it back here.
Right. He's got a choice of two squares.
Yeah, as long as he's protecting the knight with the queen.
Yep.
But he chooses to play the queen to D6
Yep.
and protect it because it's defended by the rook and the pawn on E7.
Yep.
All right. It is now Gukesh's 18th move. What does he do?
So he does exactly what he was planning to do. Puts the bishop on A3, pinning this knight.
That knight is pinned,
Yep.
so that can't move. Okay. So it is now Ding's move. All right. What is Ding going to do? Here's what he does.
Exactly what he was planning to do.
He carries out his plan.
Similar idea.
Yes. Bishop H6 attacks the queen.
Yep.
Okay. Now the queen under attack is going to force that queen now. Does the queen move? He doesn't move.
He doesn't move.
He doesn't move.
Right.
Because actually,
because if the queen had moved, say, to H4,
yes,
he probably would have just grabbed the pawn.
Yes, right. The queen over there no longer attacking the knight on E5, and then he could win the pawn on B5. So
he pretty much has to do what he does.
He did that.
He takes the knight.
Bishop takes C5 on move 19. Of course, Ding retakes. Queen takes C5.
Yeah.
Still protecting the knight on E5. And of course, this pawn is well defended on D4 by the rook on D8 and the queen on C5. Okay, it is now Gukesh's move, right? Move 20.
Yeah, and again, so his queen's being attacked by the bishop.
He has to move his queen. Queen's under attack.
The queen puts it on E4.
Okay, so queen E4 is what he played. All right, it is now Ding's move. Wait a minute.
Right, so
he doesn't want to lose. There's an attack on this pawn. Wait a minute.
Right.
We have a double attack.
Right.
With the bishop and the queen. This pawn now cannot be allowed to be taken.
Yep.
So this is where Ding plays the knight back to C6, which blocks the attack on the pawn on B7. Okay.
Yep.
All right. It is now Gukesh's 21st move. Now, what happens now?
he plays his knight to A3.
All right, knight A3. Yeah. Okay. So it is now Ding's move. All right. So Ding must realize that it might be pressure. I mean, as long as this knight can't move because it's protecting the attack on this pawn.
Yep.
He brings the rook up here, the d7, maybe with a chance that he would be allowed now to redeploy that knight somehow.
Yeah.
All right, so he plays rook.
And that move was criticized.
That was criticized?
They thought he should have just castled here.
They should have actually just said there's no need to rush
Right.
to defend here. Get into safety by castling.
Yep.
All right. So after rook d7, it is now Gukesh's 22nd move. What does he do?
So he plays knight c2.
Okay. But where is he going with that knight? We're gonna find out.
We're going to find out.
We're
yeah.
going to find out. Well, this allows Ding now to win a pawn. He now takes queen. He now can capture the pawn on b6 with the queen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Ding now is a pawn ahead. He just won a pawn, right? Yeah. All right. 3 is it?
Yep, he's up a pawn.
He's a pawn ahead, right?
Yep.
Okay. Ding is now won a pawn. Okay. It is now Gukesh's 23rd move. However,
So
by taking that pawn, that comes with the
immediately attacks the
liability
queen.
here.
Yep.
Now the queen is under attack, and the queen has to move. Yeah. And the queen now goes back to c7. That's where he plays. Queen c7.
Yep.
Okay. So now we have the rook and the queen protecting this pawn, which is only attacked once by the rook. It is now Gukesh's 24th move. What does he do?
he plays rook b5.
Okay. Now, by playing the rook from b1 to b5,
Yeah.
it allows him now to double those rooks.
To
That
bring
rook
right
on
the other rook
b1
over, yep.
can be brought over and put more, and then have a threat of taking, on b7. Yeah. All right. After rook b5, now Ding castles
Now he
on
castles.
move 24.
24, yeah.
Yeah. Rather late in the game.
Rather late in the game, yeah.
But we've all had games where we've castled late in the game. Probably not as late as this.
Yeah.
But that's what Ding did. He castled on move 24. It is now Gukesh's 25th move. What does he do? Does he double the rooks?
Not quite yet.
Doesn't do it yet.
He
doesn't
could
bring
have.
No,
He could
not
have.
yet. He could.
But
Yeah. He chooses what?
Plays a move. The chess.com commentator said this was a subtle move, and maybe it was too subtle. I think during the game,
Yes.
one of the commentators said it.
What did he say?
Clever move, but maybe too clever.
Oh, really? Yeah. Because it's highly unusual now to move the
Right.
This knight maneuver is rather interesting. What
Yeah,
he did.
yeah,
I mean, to move it now back into the corner. Yeah. But he has an idea. But he has.
Right, it's not
he has
gonna
a
stay
plan.
there. It's not
It's
gonna
not going to
stay
stay
there.
there.
Yeah.
It's not there to stay. It's part of a plan of
So
removing.
now something to point out about this next move
Yeah.
is that Ding, again, is getting very low on time. He takes 6 minutes for this next move. So after he does this, he's got basically like 7.5 minutes for 15 moves.
He's got 15 moves to make in 7.5 minutes.
In 7.5. So he's down to like 30 seconds for his remaining
All right,
15
so he's
moves.
short of time here.
He's very short of time.
Running.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, was Ding's move, which he played, which was actually bringing over and adding more defense on the pawn on b7,
It was a reasonable move.
it was reasonable. I mean, there was nothing, they found nothing better than this.
Right.
So rook b8, another defender on the pawn on b7.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at this point, commentators were saying that they felt like White's moves were easier to play. That
Yes.
his position was easier than Black's. And we got to keep in mind, Black is down to under 8 minutes for 15 moves.
Okay.
So Black is going to have to play fast.
Okay.
So that's a bad situation for Ding to be in.
Right. So it is now Gukesh's 26th move. How does he continue?
So here we go. Knight goes to b3 now.
Okay. All right. So after knight b3, now Ding must realize this knight would love to sink into here. By doing that, we actually have more pressure on that pawn.
Yeah.
So he realizes, wait a minute, I can't have this rook is going to come under attack. So he has to prepare for that attack by the knight.
Yeah.
He plays the pawn up to e6.
Yeah.
To allow that rook actually still to maintain on that stay on that rank,
Right.
defending
Right.
this pawn
To slide
with
over.
the other, with the other rook. Okay,
But that was criticized as
this
being a
move was
bad
criticized.
move. Yeah. I mean, it's complicated, but they thought that he should have put the rook up here.
I see.
instead.
And that way, the knight going into c5 is not attacking a rook.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So this move e6 was criticized.
Yeah.
It was better to play the rook up. Yeah,
Yeah.
and not allow that knight to attack the rook on d7.
But again, Ding, black has very little time.
So knight, yeah,
Knight to c5.
attacks the rook.
Attacks the rook.
Okay.
Attacks this pawn a second time.
Right. Yeah, okay. But again, it's defended here by
Yep.
the rook,
Yep.
and the rook, this rook and queen. So we got 3 pieces defending that pawn on b7. It's attacked twice,
Yep.
but defended 3 times. So rook under attack. The rook moves over to e7, and that's what actually Ding did. Okay, Gukesh's move. What does he do?
Gukesh's move, well, he could have immediately taken this pawn.
Oh, that's true.
He could have just taken right there.
Because that pawn was defending this knight.
And
So-
now, now he's got 2 pieces
and now,
on that.
and now he can actually take back here. So yeah, he can actually win. Actually wins a pawn.
Again, the commentators felt like that.
So he had the opportunity of winning a pawn on b7 immediately.
Yeah.
He chose not to do it.
But we should point out again,
Yeah.
even though
Time.
the time. So
Yeah.
Gukesh's time trouble wasn't as bad, but he didn't have a lot of time himself.
Yes.
He had more time, but
Right. But he
so both
chose.
players are having to rush.
Right.
So he chose a move which, well, it worked out fine. It's a natural move, right? He finally doubled his rooks.
Okay, so we're really piling on that pawn on b7 3 times now. 2 rooks and a knight, and of course it's defended 3 times. However, the problem with that move here, it allows Gukesh to play what? I mean, it's moved to 20.
So it's
Oh, I'm
Ding's
sorry.
move.
No, it's Black's move.
It's Black's move.
Oh, it's Black's move. Oh,
Black's move.
Oh, so what Ding did? You're right. He brought the
the key
queen.
moment of the game. Yeah.
So this move, he brought the queen back. The queen, but however, there's a problem with this move.
Yep.
The
And we're-
problem with this move
We're going to
is
see it in a second. So again, the times after Ding did that, he had 7 minutes and 14 seconds left.
Yes.
To make 12 moves. So
Right.
he's in a hurry.
he's in a hurry here.
He's in a hurry. Yeah.
Okay.
And it didn't take long for Gukesh to see what the problem was. And
Right.
I think he only took about 20 seconds, and he just took the knight here.
Right.
And,
And-
almost as soon as he did, Ding looked at it and just resigned.
He resigned.
He realized he had blundered.
Okay.
And we can show a couple.
Yeah, let's just show-
more moves to show why that's a blunder.
So let's say, for example,
so he just won a piece.
Yeah, but
But now if he takes back,
he takes back. He takes. This allows.
allows White
Rook takes
to
to
take here.
b8. Yeah.
and the queen,
Queen
is pinned.
and if he takes back
So
like
if he
this,
takes back,
here,
White takes back.
check.
So
All right,
now,
so the king moves up, but Black is down a full piece.
right. So
That-
White's got an extra knight. So yeah.
Extra
So if he
knight.
were to move up,
Right.
he could even grab this pawn.
Win that.
And now,
yeah, this
now
is easy.
he's up a full piece.
Yeah, this
so,
is enough to win. Yeah. So and that's why Ding resigned.
So
Actually,
Ding resigned.
He resigned. Okay.
But so we should say though that. So at this point,
Yeah.
I mean, I think people were writing Ding off. There's only
Right.
3 games left.
right. This is game 11. This was
Game 11.
Okay.
3 games to go. They felt like he's not coming back from this, especially psychologically he's going to be.
But what did he do in game 12?
Again, game 12,
in
Ding
game
won.
12,
Ding won.
Ding won. Actually, was
tie it up.
Tied it up. The match was tied up. It was actually 6-6 after game 12. So he came back.
Came back. Then game 13 was a draw.
That was a draw. So the match is now 6.5 each.
Right.
Going into the game 14.
And in game 14,
Yeah.
it was a fairly. The commentators everybody thought it was going to be a draw.
Yeah.
So
Forcing a playoff.
Gukesh had an extra pawn.
Right.
In an end game.
Right.
But they felt like he's not going to be able to do anything with it.
Okay.
So for a long time, for a lot of moves, the commentators were just talking about, this is the format tomorrow.
Yeah.
If we go into playoffs.
That's what they're thinking of.
We're probably going to go into playoffs, and here's the format, and just
Right,
talking
right.
about what's going to happen tomorrow.
Right, okay.
And then again,
Yep.
I don't know if he was in time pressure again.
Right.
But Ding just blundered,
All right.
and that in one move, the whole thing was over.
Right.
And we're going to see some video clips
Okay.
of
Right now, Darren, actually, now we have, courtesy of Chess-Based India. This is Chess-Based India?
one is Chess-Based India.
One is Chess-Based, and the other one is actually...
One is from chess.com.
Chess.com.
Yeah.
Okay. So we
I
thank
think the
actually
first one is, I think, chess.com.
Chess.com. Okay, we're going to show actually the final moments of Game 14,
Yep.
the decisive game of the 2024 FIDE World Championship match in Singapore.
Yep.
So let's roll the tape on the World Championship Game 14.
And those are some scary pawns to be down.
I'm in absolute shock that Ding actually decided to continue the game with just a minute on the clock. He's refused a repetition going into blitz.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a pretty wild decision. Maybe
Unbelievable.
it actually looks like a brilliant decision, but probably because this queen f5 was a mistake.
Let's look at
Oh my gosh.
And maybe he just missed c4. He thought he's picking up that pawn, but he's not picking up that pawn.
With the f pawn, it is
So
winning.
what does he do? Bishop to
Look at this. Gukesh
e4?
says this. He sees that.
I just want to stop c3. I really,
queen
really
d3
want to
there.
stop.
That's why I think
Queen d3, yeah?
bishop on b7.
Yeah, queen d3.
We're
Bishop has
square.
an open diagonal.
Oh my gosh. This
Nowhere on the
is a
diagonal
position where
we're
Jan
seeing
might have
is
only
H1.
one move
Chosen
to
the
survive.
square.
I see the eval bar saying 0.3, but that is completely misleading everybody. There are two separate pass pawns. Most importantly, there's advanced c pawn, and you want to rush your pawn to h5. You do not get that. The queen steps to g4 after pawn to h4, offering a queen trade, and then the pawn goes up to c3. Fabi, Tanya, this is worrisome territory for Jan Nepomniachtchi, who's dipping to just about a minute, and that was a mistake.
Patience, Peter.
Oh, queen d3. Not even queen g4, queen d3.
Exactly.
That's
He
the best
cannot
way.
believe. Yeah, he cannot believe.
Yeah,
himself, but
that's
he sees that
really,
he's winning.
really bad for white.
He is drinking the water.
Oh my goodness.
Stop.
c3 is happening.
That move, rook g6, Fabi, we were thinking that's not even a possibility. And such a brave decision, and it's paying off. Ding Liren, with that eval bar, it shows that he's clearly better here. Practically, Fabi, how easy is this with a minute on the clock? And Yan there keeps the queens on the board, which is absolutely crucial for any play with white. He has to get h5 in. Rook d1 coming
Black is just pushing. Well, like, what does the h5 matter? Because you don't give checks on that diagonal anymore.
To lose
Like-
the world championship crown like this, it's
Hmm,
unimaginable.
okay. c3?
Rook f6.
He's done so much.
It doesn't
he's
seem
made
to
so much
change a
progress
huge amount.
Psychologically, emotionally. He's
Yeah,
demonstrated
what are you
his best
doing
self
here as
recently
white? Because the
as
queen on d3 is so
before
well
last blood.
positioned, and he goes rook d1. He wants to chase the queen off the diagonal. I think that's a good choice. But can't that queen
Yeah,
just
you
slide
have
back
to.
to f5?
Path forward.
And then queen c4. He has to engineer some sort of rook d8, rook d5, like something with activity.
Not miss
Oh, but I like this because if queen c4, there's rook c6 now. The queen and rook along the 6th rank helps to push the pawn.
That's a good move. So wait, does the queen have to go to e2? But that's not what you want to do, because then rook c6 anyway, with the threat of c2, bishop to a3. And he's also has no time.
But it's a lost
Oh,
pawn endgame.
Wow.
so yeah, this is very, very close.
And even
Oh
the
my
arbiter
goodness,
is
we're
not
stunned
decided
into
on the
silence.
board.
Maybe you need to play
No
queen
one
e2
can,
quickly
other
and
than
just pray.
Gukesh, it seems.
I mean, obviously your position is
Decisive
bad,
still on the board. His brain is
but
on the
at least
board.
keep some time on the clock.
He's down to 35 seconds. Ding's the one with the time advantage, Fabi.
Final moments.
Yeah, well, white has to keep some time on the clock, just in case it turns into a mess at some point. Wait, now rook c6? What
Yeah,
is
just
even the idea?
we see that
Is he going to try to
pressure that
sacrifice a
Gukesh
piece
plays
and go
on
for an
and
attack
just
against this king? That
keeping the
should
tension,
not pan out,
and
but
he
maybe this
just
king's going to
couldn't
try to hide on h2.
yeah,
And
he
in
just
a
collapses.
scramble, if it gets into real time trouble for black, when you're under attack, that's when mistakes happen.
Heroic effort for the reigning
Yeah,
world
maybe a
champion.
good practical shot. I mean, for
There was
sure, this
speculation he wouldn't
Isak
show up to the match.
is his idea. It doesn't
No, he did.
work.
He put on
Like,
his
all these
best
things are
game.
definitely true, but
He came so close.
but
And King
he
E3
wants to
will be
avoid
played,
it.
but King E5
So,
followed by F4.
we're now rook
in
to
the
C1
event
at
of
least.
E3 is a well-known victory.
Or wait, can you trade? Maybe you could trade.
That's it.
Oh, and it's given a question mark. You can trade and then try to get your queen back to e4 at some point, try to make a
You
draw.
just try to like hold it move by move. Yeah, queen e4, queen c4, and it's not an immediate draw, but you're saying black cannot easily progress because the
smiling little bit.
And he finds it.
Push away the smile.
queen e4,
But
queen g6,
he
queen
will be the
c4.
youngest
Good try.
world champion.
Not only
C2,
What we are
A good practical try. Sorry, Fabi, but look at the eval bar. It says minus 1.4. Is it nearly minus 4? So Jan may be fighting back in this game just when it looked like Ding Liren would be crowned world champion.
His opponent, he deserves a
Well, it's very
smile.
difficult to advance that pawn because c2 is allowing
He has
h5
done so
ideas.
much work.
And if not c2,
The 8
then
world has
maybe you play
demonstrated
h5 with black
skills
here.
of a
Maybe you
champion,
really
play
need
of
to
a
get those
champion,
light squares under
deserve a
control.
champion. And he's going
Okay,
to
you can give a check. It probably doesn't
very
change a whole
worthy
lot.
opponent.
Does he want to start
Well,
pushing
it
the
didn't achieve
a-pawn?
anything.
Sip of water from Ding as he
Pushing the
begins to
a-pawn,
come to
maybe,
terms
but then bishop to
with the
somewhere bishop
disaster
d4 will
struck in
get
this final
some
game.
counterplay. Maybe king goes to h2, not to allow
What
queen
a
e4 check,
moment,
although
Peter.
probably doesn't change much.
words can't capture
Oh my
the
goodness,
significance
King
of this
H2
moment
is played.
where it is.
And look at the eval bar. It's going near level. This could be dangerous for Ding. If he's all in for the win, he could find himself under pressure with his G7 pawn targeted by the bishop on D4 as well.
Yeah, I mean, like bishop d4, c2, maybe you lose because of queen to f7.
Yes.
Something like that. Obviously, you would never want to allow. But generally speaking, black does not risk here. But bishop d4, the point of the king on h2, queen e4 was not checked because queen takes b4, wins a piece.
17 seconds,
Bishop
he makes a
d4,
move.
and that was correct one. Wait, a3 and oh, is he going back queen f7, queen b3, or is it queen f7, queen c4?
Yeah, queen g6 is available. I think that's what we're indicating. The pawn is protected. He goes queen c7, which is a mistake. A huge mistake in time trouble from Jan Nepomniachtchi. The queen has to go back to g6. That's the good news for Ding Liren. He has only one move here, and Jan is the one down to 20 seconds and counting down.
Wait, bishop c3?
One dynasty.
Oh, just a2 and queen b1 then. There's no checks. Yeah, that's.
And after
Yeah, I think this is over.
Oh my
He has to go
gosh.
queen c4 back. It's the only move.
Will he find it? The only way to keep the game going is queen back to c4, going after the bishop. He plays just that. So a good find.
c2 now. Yeah, this is
How symbolic.
Oh my
Gukesh sets
gosh.
up the pieces
So
like
close
he
to
always
disaster.
does, win or lose.
But he's holding on right now.
Oh, is bishop c5? Oh no, it's not. I was trying to get too clever.
Bishop d6, this h4 pawn may be hanging in some positions. He goes king g2, which keeps it at -3. So that's obviously an advantage for black. But maybe it's time, Fabi, for your h5 move, just because you don't want this king to be checked left and right, non-stop. So maybe h5 helps that king?
Just to stop white, because white is threatening h5 now. White has a threat of h5. h5, queen f5, g4, and the queen has to lose contact with the c2 pawn. h5 might not be an easy decision because you feel like if my queen ever gets active, then white will target that h pawn. Definitely a difficult decision, but might be the right move. If he plays h5, white will play queen to d5.
So humble, he's so grateful for this.
h5, queen d5. Oh, I was going to say a2, but you can just take my pawn.
Okay, that was the final moments of Game 14. We might have encountered some audio difficulties in the game. The video was an accurate depiction of Game 14. We're going to actually show a clip. Hopefully, we'll have no audio problems with this clip. This is actually the reaction of the fans in India. This was his Indian fans watching this game on live TV from Singapore. So let's show this clip of the reaction of Gukesh Dommaraju's fans in India in the final moments of Game 14 for the World Championship.
What? Guys, sit down.
Takes rook and bishop d5. Look at Gukesh, he sees it.
Oh my
He
God!
sees it.
He's holding it. The king won ending.
Gukesh will become the world champion.
This is the moment. This is the moment.
Look at Gukesh. Gukesh knows it. Oh my God. He's becoming the world champion.
18 years old.
Oh my God.
Gukesh will be the world chess champion.
He knows it, yeah, he knows it.
This is over.
Bhai, we won.
Gukesh knows it. भाई बैठो बैठो सब लोग बैठो
What a blunder. Guys, Gukesh कैसे let's okay, so mainly can we show the line? Gukesh has to take the rook, king takes rook,
Oh my goodness.
and play bishop d5. ये bishop अटक गया है, he cannot take wow, king takes
And this is a winning king pawn endgame.
खत्म.
This is over.
This is over because
Gukesh cannot believe it. He knows it. He's about to become the world champion.
Guys, Gukesh is just 2 moves away from becoming the 18th world. Wow.
Unbelievable. History is being written right now in Singapore.
Yeah, we are witnessing history here, dosto.
An 18-year-old world champion. Let's go.
Can we see Gukesh? Can we see Gukesh in the video? वो ऐसे घूम रहा है, घूम रहा है.
Heartbreak for Ding. It's complete heartbreak for Ding.
That walk is so cold. Yeah.
Oh my God, he resigned. Well, 1 second, he's playing King E5. He's not resigned, guys,
Not
just yet.
resigned yet, not resigned.
Important है ना?
Guys, थोड़ा रुकते हैं. Gukesh can't
But you
believe
saw
it.
his smile.
Gukesh can't believe it.
He's about to become the world champion.
Gukesh cannot believe it.
Oh, he's laughing. He's smiling. He's laughing. Wow. He cannot believe it.
He's like world champion बढ़िया मैं world
He's
champion
laughing.
बढ़िया.
He's laughing, Jenny. He
Yeah,
cannot
he's
believe it.
laughing.
And just because he did not give up this position.
Exactly,
he
guys.
played it out.
Never give up, bhai.
Never give up by Gukesh OP. Wow.
Gukesh OP in the chat. Let's go. He's crying. He's crying. He's genuinely crying. Oh my God.
He's unable to move right now. He can't believe what has just happened. Look
Wow.
at him. Just look at him.
Wow. This is what true happiness looks like. Wow.
Look at the smile on his face and the tears in his eyes. Guys, we are all part of history today here.
The 18-year-old becomes the 18th world chess champion. How invincible! Oh my gosh!
Now he's smiling. Let's go. Guys, we have an Indian world champion. That's insane.
After wishing on it, it is Yes! He's done it! He's done it!
Well, there we saw the excitement of fans in India, fans of Gukesh Dommaraju, who is the youngest world champion in chess history. And we're going to show actually the position in the final minutes of that game. This was the position. We'll use our camera one to show the position on the board.
I was going to say that I sent that clip to my non-chess playing family and friends to say, if you don't think chess is exciting, watch this clip.
Okay. So it was actually a Ding's move in this position, and Ding actually, what did he play?
Just a little bit.
A little bit. Can you see it? Okay. Okay. So what? It is now. What did actually Ding do in response there in this position?
So this is where Ding made the blunder.
All right. He made. This was a blunder.
This was a blunder.
This is the losing move of the game.
Yeah.
And okay. So by offering the exchange of rook, that was a mistake.
That was a mistake. I mean, but so the thing is, normally, it would be a good idea, right?
Okay. So how did did Gukesh respond? He took the rook.
He took the rook.
Rook takes on f2, and of course.
But he took his time.
Took his time on this.
Took a drink. Because this is the World Championship at stake. He wanted to make sure. Everything was okay. So Ding has to take back. And then he immediately.
And Gukesh knew then and then, even when the rook had moved back to f2 for the offer of the exchange, with now bishop d5.
And the problem here is that this bishop, if it wasn't in the corner, if it was here or here, it could just move aside.
He could escape.
He could escape because it's in the corner.
Now he has no choice.
He has no choice but to exchange. And
King takes.
King takes. And I guess all we.
And this is actually this is a one end game with two pawns versus one, because actually Black is going to win this by virtue of maintaining the through opposition, king opposition, and he's going to be able to win that pawn.
Yeah. So we could say at their level. There'd be no point in playing. That's why Ding resigned.
Ding resigned. He realized this is a lost position. There's no hope in continuing it.
But when I looked at it, and I thought if I was Black and the clock was ticking, I could imagine screwing this up.
Yes, it's very possible to.
It's not a slam dunk.
No.
At our level.
Amateur players could lose this game. Actually, not win this game. Let's put it this way. Yeah. So, but these professional players know that this is a one game.
Ding knew there was. It's lost.
I want to point out that the Gukesh, at the age of 12, when he was 12 years old, 7 months, 17 days, he became the second youngest grandmaster in the world, second only to Sergei Karyakin, who was the oldest. But again, here is now Gukesh Dommaraju at the age of 18 years, 8 months, and 14 days, becoming the youngest world champion ever. And we congratulate Gukesh, and actually the Indian Chess Federation, because Gukesh is the second Indian to become world champion. And that's quite an accomplishment.
And we can also say that there was some speculation that maybe Magnus Carlsen might be interested in playing for the World Championship again now that there was a new generation coming.
And did Magnus respond?
And Magnus is not interested.
He's not interested actually in fighting. He's not interested in fighting for the World Chess Championship.
He's going to keep playing, but he's not going to play for the World Championship.
Right, and he's playing. Actually, we have it now with this World Blitz, World Rapid coming up in New York very soon. So. Magnus was there, but Ding won't. But Gukesh will not be there.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think he's not entered.
I think he's taking a well-deserved rest.
Okay. So, anyways, this is quite an accomplishment. Again, this is chess history in the making, and it was done actually in Singapore. And now we have to see who Gukesh's challenger will be
2 years from now.
From 2 years from now, there'll be another World Championship match, and we have. Again, two Americans who are viable contenders.
Very viable,
Fabiano Caruana, number 2 in the world, Hikaru Nakamura. Whether they will be successful in becoming the challenger, we won't know until we get into candidates matches.
Could even be another Indian. It might be 2 Indians
Could be done
playing.
because we actually, Arjun Ergaisi is number 4 in the world. So anyways, we hope our Chess Chat fans enjoyed the game that Dave and I presented to you from the 2024 FIDE World Championship, and we hope that see you next time for another thrilling game on Chess Chat.